Here is the Care mobile clinic. I'm going to start by looking at the driver's side exterior, especially these compartments. Okay, so let's start here. This is the Sure Power hookup port. It's a double locking mechanism, so you need to twist it in twice. Now here, this is the battery tray. If the batteries need serviced or whatnot, this is where they are located. I would not jump the vehicle here. I would jump under the hood as you normally would for any other vehicle. You know, here's the diesel exhaust fluid. Now to the next cabin, we have the generator. Now you would not want to turn the generator on here. There's actually a panel inside the clinic to do that. But if you are running into issues with the generator and it must be serviced, this is where it's located. Here is the gray water tank disposal system. I'll insert a clip of how that works. First, what you would do is go down to this black cylinder. Now unscrew this bolt here. Now the bolt is removed. Just rotate this counterclockwise and pull it off. First part is the connector piece, along with the waste tube. Once you have the connector piece and the waste tube out, what you do is navigate to this white device, rotate this counterclockwise as well, and then take it off. So now what you would do is take the piece of the tube that has the twist on pieces like this, angle it around the white tube, and twist just like that. And now with the other side, what you would do is line up these notches with these grooves and then twist to the right. Once that is done, you should have the hose configured like so. And you'd put this piece over your waste area and then pull out this to drain the tank. As you can see, it drained some. And when I closed it, it stopped draining. When you're done, put the tube back inside this black tube container. Screw the bolt back on, and then put the cap back on the white part. Above that is the fresh water intake. To do that, all you would do is just insert a fresh water hose and then turn it on until water starts kicking back out. Okay, now moving on towards the rear section. Here's a storage compartment, and here is the fuel intake for the vehicle. Rear backup camera up there. Here's the wheelchair lift door. Storage compartment. There is the exterior awning. That's what it looks like when it's completely retracted into the vehicle. Exterior power ports by the entry door. And now up here there's a very long storage compartment, as you can see. Now that brings us to the passenger door and the front of the vehicle. So let's take a look on the inside. Entering into the driver's seat, the first thing you'd want to do when operating the vehicle is navigate to behind the passenger seat and turn on this battery connect switch. Now it's on. To power up the rear of the clinic, after turning on the battery disconnect switch. Navigate to behind the driver's seat to the generator panel area here. Now to start the generator, what you do is you'd hold down this start/preheat key until you can hear the generator power on. You also know the generator is on when the light on the switch turns solid. Now after starting the generator, navigate to the right to the power inverter. To operate the power inverter, all you need to do is hold down the on/off button until it starts. And now the rear of the clinic has power. If the lights are not on, the light switch is located here by the rear entry door. Overhead AC unit is controlled by this panel here in between the generator panel and the power inverter. Once both these are on, to operate the overhead AC, first tap the power button on the top left so it turns blue, and then tap it again. And as you can now hear, the overhead AC vent is powered on. Once the generator and the power inverter are on, you can now operate the floor heaters. Now to operate these, turn the knob clockwise until you hear a little click. That's how you know that it's powered on and air will be coming out. The intensity, to turn up the intensity, further rotate clockwise, and to turn it back off, rotate counterclockwise until you hear the click again. Now on to the restroom. To the left, here's the bathroom light switch. Make sure you turn the bathroom light switch when it's not in use. And to the right of that is the tank monitor / pump switch. So here you can check the battery levels of the clinic. You can check the percent of the freshwater tank that's full. And you can also check the percent that the black / gray water tank is full. Now also there's a pump switch here. Now when this is on, you have the ability to operate the faucets. However, when it's off, the pressure is gone. Located above the rear entry door is the awning control panel. To operate the awning and put it out, what you would do is hold down the awning off switch until the awning is completely pulled out of the vehicle. Also to the right of this is LED switches on the end of the awning. You can turn these on and off simply by clicking these switches. And when you're ready to bring the awning back in, all you do is hold down the awning in key until the awning is completely flush with the vehicle and can no longer be retracted in. To operate the overhead vent fan, there are only 3 controls. The first control is the hatch above the fan. Rotate counterclockwise to open the vent. Now it's fully open. And now this knob here controls the intensity of the fan speed. So for example, 1 would be the weakest, 3 would be the quickest. Put it back on 1. Now the last of the 3 controls is the direction of the fan. You can either have it blowing air in or blowing air out. And you can switch it by pushing this here. Now it's blowing out of the vehicle. This to pull it back into the vehicle. Now to close it back up, rotate this clockwise, turn this back to 0, and we're good. To power off the clinic when you no longer need to supply power to the rear of the clinic, first, power off the power inverter by holding down the off switch. And next, tap the stop part of the stop key on the generator panel. Now, if you are completely done with the vehicle and you're going to leave it parked and no one will be using it or driving it, navigate back to this battery disconnect switch and power it off. However, if you are driving the vehicle back to a different destination before parking it and not using the rear for clinic purposes, leave it on until you reach your destination. If the battery switch is in the off position while driving the vehicle, you will not be able to use the parking brake or the rear view camera. So make sure when you're traveling or driving the vehicle that the battery power switch is in the on position. Also, when you're done driving and you've reached your destination, don't forget to turn the battery power switch off. So to release the parking brake, make sure that the battery switch is in the on position, the vehicle engine is on, and the PSI is at least at 75. From there, to release the parking brake, hold down the brake while pushing in. Now the parking brake is off. To reapply the parking brake, pull up on the parking brake, and now the parking brake is on. To operate the wheelchair lift, a couple of steps must be followed. The first step would be make sure the vehicle ignition is on. After the vehicle ignition is on, the next step is to make sure that the parking brake is engaged. After that, the next step is to make sure that the wheelchair lift switch above the driver is in the on position. Also make sure that the battery power switch is in the on position. Now your lift should have power. As you can see, the lights are on at the top of the lift. That means that there's power going to the lift. If you followed the previous steps correctly and you do not see lights on up here, try looking down to the lift power switch here. Most of the time it's left in the on position, but someone could have turned it off and it would have looked like that with no power. But we typically just leave it in the on position. And to operate, first you unfold the vehicle by holding down the unfold key on the remote. And then hold down the down key till the lift has reached the ground and this yellow part flaps out to be parallel with the rest of the lift. Alright, so this is where you'd load onto the lift, and let's say you load it on now, so it's time to bring the lift back in. So what you'd actually do is the opposite of the two steps you just did. So start by holding up the up switch, Now the person using the lift can access the vehicle, and once they've accessed the vehicle, now you fold the lift. Keep going until it stops moving and you hear a little squeak noise. You can put this back here, and that's how you use the lift. Do not forget, if the vehicle is not being used as a clinic or driven, make sure that the battery switch is in the off position, or else you'll kill your battery.